Tell you, I'm so excited to be in your presence because my heart's passion, my life's work, the call that God has placed in my life is to encourage, support, and love on you. It's not bad to have a prosperous life. It's not bad to want things or to buy things or to reach goals or to aspire to have dreams. Those things aren't bad. Just be aware that they do not become the primary means to finding joy, fulfillment, satisfaction, and abundant life. Wondering if, like me, you have ever felt suffocated and overwhelmed by trying to be everything for them, by trying to raise them to be good, kind, respectful kids, and as a result, ever felt like a failure? Come on, anybody with me? Yes. Felt insecure, felt trapped, lonely, defeated. But there is good news. And the good news is that there is hope. And each and every one of us here can be a part of that hope. But in order for us to really be a part of that hope, you have to remember, recognize, and know and believe 3 important things. 4 steps that you can journey through to not only be set free from the burdens and the guilt of motherhood that can so quickly tear us down, but to learn how to soar with confidence and courage in the joy and beauty of your divine purpose as a mom and a woman. How do we become more about the things that matter and less about the things that don't? How do we become more about God, more about substance, more about truth, more about faith, more about peace, more about justice, more about others, more about love? We neglect to surrender into this chrysalis of God's grace, we won't fully become the woman, the mom God has always destined us to be. When I finally surrendered, He taught me first that I needed more of Him. I needed to spend more intentional, daily, disciplined time in building my relationship with Him so I could get to know His heart so He could change mine. And at that moment, I surrendered. Ladies, I surrendered all the doing, all the striving, all the perfecting, all of the performing that was a part of my entire life. And I laid it at the feet of Jesus. It was for me, not because I am more special than you, certainly not because I deserved it, not because I asked for a sign, but because that is who God is. When we seek Him, He shows up. And moving from self to surrender is a crucial step that prepares our hearts to receive all of the truths that God has for us, that will lead us to transformation, that will lead us to soar and be the mom He's created us to be. And we can't do the work He so desperately needs us to do. In fact, as His people, is our responsibility to do. We can't set an example for our kids if we are living imprisoned to shame and guilt. We're willing to surrender into that beautiful, protective chrysalis of God's grace. What does He do? He begins to tear down all the hurt, all the shame, all the lies, and He replaces them with life-giving truths that will help you learn to soar, to become who He's always known you to be. All it requires from you is a choice. It doesn't take some magic formula or high-level degree or social status or political power or certain talent level. All it takes is a choice. And if you allow His grace to enter, if you accept it and allow Him to cover you with His unconditional love, you will organically be moved and inspired to live your life according to His will, for His purposes, for His glory. And you are so wonderfully, fearfully made in the beautiful image of God. We are His original creations. And once we start to take that in, we learn that our identity does not balance on what we've done or not done, on what people say or what the world thinks, but on who Jesus is, on what he did for us. These imperfect, broken humans. He died to save us. And that is where we find our identity. That's when we are transformed, my friends, there's no going back. When Jesus transforms you, there's no going back. And you are ready for takeoff. This is where your faith matures. This is where God begins to equip you, inspire you, empower you through the Holy Spirit to do the work he's called you to do, to be the mom that your kids so desperately need you to be.